Good morning, dear students. I am here again for our botany paper second, plant physiology. In the previous lectures, we finished the introduction to plant physiology, definition of plant physiology, and scope and application. So, by definition, plant physiology is a heart of botany which deals with the study of all life processes performed by the plant. Or one can say plant physiology deals with the organization and operation of biochemical, physiological and enzymological processes performed by the plant. So, in this lecture we are going to start our chapter second, absorption of water. As we are known that the water is elixir of the life. Without water, life is not possible on this planet Earth. Water is the fluid of life. All living organisms, including plants, are made up of 80 to 90% of the water. Circulation of water throughout the plant body plays a vital role in all the life processes of the plant. So, without water, life is impossible on this planet Earth. The various metabolic activities that has been carried out in the plant are takes place by using water as an medium. So, water has an immense importance in the life of the plant. Now, we are going to study the role of water in plant. Water is the medium of fertilization in primitive plants. So, primitive plants, for example, those plants which belongs to the lower groups of plants in the classification, for example, algae, fungi, bryophytes and pterophytes. So, in such primitive plants, the fertilization process has been carried out by the movement of the gametes using a water medium. So, to carry gametes for fertilization process, water function as a medium for transportation of the gametes. So, this is the role of water in lower plants. Second is the water function as an universal solvent. So, to dissolve various organic substances, for example, carbohydrates, amino acids, various organic acids that are required for the growth and development of the plant has been dissolved in the water. So, water act as a solvent to dissolve various organic. In addition to this, certain inorganic substances are also get dissolved in the water. For example, mineral nutrients that are required for the growth and development of the plant. So, water is a universal solvent in which various organic substances, for example, carbohydrates, amino acids, organic acids and also various mineral elements get dissolved. So, because of which the plant get these mineral nutrients for the growth and development. Next role of water in plant as keep root hair stiff and rigid and leaves in expanded condition. So, these are the plant organs, for example, root, then the leaves. So, to carry their functional activities of the plant organs, these plant organ needs to be stiff and rigid while the leaves in expanded condition. So, to perform this, water has been absorbed by these plant parts where they perform their regular activity. For example, the function of the root is the absorption of water. So, to absorb water from the soil, they has to search water in the soil deeply. So, to keep the root and root hair stiff and rigid, they hold the maximum amount of water. Similarly, the leaves perform the process of photosynthesis. So, for photosynthesis, the leaves needs to be stay in expanded condition to capture the maximum amount of sunlight. So, for the process of photosynthesis, the leaves absorb maximum amount of water, they hold the maximum amount of water and they expose to the sunlight to perform photosynthesis. So, to carry out the functional activities of the plant organ, for example, root hairs and leaves, the water plays an important role. Next is the water has plays important role in transporting minerals from soil into roots. So, the minerals that are required for the growth and development of the plant. Minerals, for example, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, magnesium, calcium. So, these mineral elements are present in the soil. Plant require these mineral elements for its normal growth and development. They are absorbed by the plant along with the water. When these mineral elements are dissolved in water, then and then the plant can able to absorb it. So to dissolve the various mineral elements and move into the roots passively, these are has been carried out along with the water. So water act as a medium to dissolve these mineral elements, and they has been absorbed passively by the roots along with the water. Next is the water is the used for transporting food material in plant. So in plants, the process of photosynthesis, the glucose or sugar has been produced. So to dissolve glucose produced in the plant body will be transported through phloem tissue of the plant along with the water. So the glucose being dissolved in the water, it is transported to the various part of the plant along with the water. Next is the metabolic activities of the cell. So the various metabolic activities of the cell, water is required. Metabolic activities, for example, synthesis of chemical compounds. Similarly, the breakdown of certain chemical compounds to obtain energy in the form of ATP to perform the various functions of the plant. These metabolic activities has been carried out in the cytoplasm of the cell, or one can say cytoplasm is the active center of the cell, in which various metabolic activities, constructive as well as destructive chemical reactions has been carried out in the cytoplasm. So the chemical compounds present in the cytoplasm will need water as a medium for the reactions to occur. So to perform synthesis of any chemical compound, water act as a medium. For example, in the breakdown of carbohydrates, it also requires water to obtain the energy. So to perform various metabolic activities in the cell, water act as a medium for the reactions to occur. Next role, opening and closing of stomata. So this opening and the closing of the stomata depends on the water content of the guard cell. Now what is stomata? Stomata are the microscopic pores that are present on the surface of the lip. The function of the stomata is the exchange of O2 and CO2 that are needed in the process of photosynthesis and respiration. So when the stomata are open in the daytime, the CO2 can enter inside the leaves which is utilized for the process of photosynthesis. So for opening and closing of stomata, that has been depends on the water content of the guard cell. When the guard cell contain large amount of water, under such condition the stomata is open. When there is little amount of water present in the guard cell, stomata is closed. So the opening and the closing of stomata is governed by the water content of the guard cells. Next is the photosynthesis. So photosynthesis is an important process on which the whole plant kingdom can synthesize their own food material. So in the process of photosynthesis, water is directly participate as a raw material for the synthesis of carbohydrates, for example glucose. Water also serve as a source of hydrogen to reduce carbon dioxide to glucose in anabolic reactions of photosynthesis. So water plays an important role in process of photosynthesis. We know the reaction of photosynthesis, 6CO2 plus 12H2O, that gives rise to C6H12O6 plus 12H2O plus 6O2. So in this reaction, the water is directly participated in the process of photosynthesis. It also serves as a source of hydrogen to reduce carbon dioxide to glucose in the process of photosynthesis. Next is cooling the plant body. So to perform the process of photosynthesis, plant needs to be convert the solar energy into the chemical energy. When during daytime there is a sunlight, the temperature of the plant has been increased. So to keep the plant body cool, the plant release the water in the form of vapors from the leaf surface in the process of transpiration. So transpiration is the process of loss of water in the form of vapors from the aerial part of the plant. The function of the transpiration is the water vapors released from the leaf surface of the plant body stays around the plant body and cool it. So to maintain the temperature of the plant body, to keep the plant body cool, the transpiration and water plays an important role. Next is the germination of seeds. So seed germination, it is defined as the emergence of plumule and radicle. So the first event during the seed germination is seed soaks water by the process of imbibition. So imbibition, it is the absorption of water by the colloidal material resulted into the swelling. When seed soaks water, it get swells. The force developed through this activity will break the hard seed coat. So this allow the seed to germinate. So without water, seed is not able to germinate. So for germination of the seed, water is required, or it plays an important role. So this is the role of water in plants. Next point is the mechanism of water absorption with respect to the crop plant. So water absorption is one of the physiological phenomenon takes place in the plant by which plant can absorb the water. So the mechanism of water absorption has been of two types. So the absorption of the water is carried out by using the two mechanisms. One is the active absorption of water and second is the passive absorption of water. So the name given to as active and passive. So any active process that has been carried out with the help of energy, by utilizing energy, that process become the active process. Or in some processes, if there is no need of energy, no energy is utilized, that process is the passive process. So on the basis of which there are two types of mechanism, active absorption of water and passive absorption of water. So active absorption of water, where the root cell plays active role and metabolic energy in the form of ATP released during the process of respiration is required for active absorption of water. And in case of passive absorption of water, it is mainly due to the transpiration. The root cells do not play active role and remains passive. There is no use of ATP for the passive absorption of water. Further, the active absorption of water has been divided into the two types: osmotic absorption of water and non-osmotic absorption of water. So these two types are made on the basis of the process of osmosis. So what is osmosis? Osmosis is the process when we separate the two solutions of different concentration by means of a semi-permeable membrane. So then what happen? The water from a solution of low concentration has to be moved into the solution of a high concentration through a semi-permeable membrane. So such type of condition has been exist in the plant. If we see the figure, a root tip showing root hair zone. So in this figure, the distal portion is the root cap. Behind this is the meristematic region where these cells are divided continuously for the growth of the root. Next to this is the root hair zone. So this root hair zone consists of number of root hairs, and these root hairs are actively involved in the absorption of water. So root hair, these are the prolongations occurs from the root and involved in the absorption of water. So these root hairs are in a close contact with the soil water. So soil water is one of the solution. Root hair possesses cell sap. So cell sap is a solution of various organic and inorganic compounds present in the cell. So there are two solutions. One solution is the cell sap that has been present in the root hair, while the another one solution is the soil water that possesses mineral nutrients dissolved in the water, and these are separated by means of a plasma membrane present on the root hair. So plasma membrane is a semi-permeable membrane. So the condition required for osmosis is it requires one weak solution, one strong solution, and to separate these two solutions, it requires semi-permeable membrane. So such condition is exist in the soil. The root hairs are in a close contact with the soil water that contain dissolved mineral elements. So this is the one solution. The cell sap present in the root hair act as another one solution, and to separate these two solution, plasma membrane act as a semi-permeable membrane. So under such condition, the water moves from soil into the root hair through the semi-permeable membrane according to the osmotic gradient. So according to the osmotic gradient, this one type is the osmotic absorption of water. When water is absorbed from soil according to the osmotic gradient. So from soil, water enters into the root hair by the difference of osmotic pressure. So the meaning of the gradient is the difference. So osmotic gradient or the osmotic difference is required for osmosis to occur. So in case of osmotic absorption of water, when water is absorbed from soil according to the osmotic gradient. The second one type is the non-osmotic absorption of water, when water is absorbed from soil against the osmotic gradient. So in this case, the osmosis do not play any role for absorption of water. So this type of absorption of water is a non-osmotic. So these types of the mechanism for water absorption we are going to study in detail in the next slide. So the first one is the active absorption of water, that has been carried out by utilizing energy in the form of ATP released by the process of respiration. So osmotic absorption of water, when water is absorbed from soil according to the osmotic gradient. The meaning of the gradient is the difference. I will repeat this once again. When water is absorbed from soil according to the osmotic difference, the difference in the osmotic pressure between the two solutions, one is the soil water and another one is the cell sap present in the root hair, and these are separated by means of a semi-permeable membrane. This theory was proposed by Priestley in 1920. So according to this theory, osmotic gradient or osmotic difference between soil water and cell sap in root cells plays an important role. I was stated previously that the root hairs are in a close contact with the soil water, that is also seen in the figure of TS of typical dicot root. So root hairs are in a close contact with the soil water. Root hairs also possesses cell sap. So this is the another one solution, and these two solutions are separated by a plasma membrane. So it is a semi-permeable membrane. So this condition fulfills the requirement of the osmosis. So the osmotic pressure of the cell sap in root hairs is usually higher than the osmotic pressure of the soil water. So due to which water from soil enters into the root hairs through the semi-permeable plasma membrane by osmotic diffusion. So due to the difference in the osmotic pressure in the cell sap, osmotic pressure is high than the soil water. The osmotic pressure depends on the dissolved solutes present in the solution. So if the amount of solute present in the solution is more, that solution having high osmotic pressure, while the solution which contain low amount of solutes, its osmotic pressure is low. Similar condition has been found here. The soil water contains low amount of solute, due to which it having low osmotic pressure. Similarly, the cell sap of root hairs possesses large amount of solute, so it having the high osmotic pressure. So the osmotic pressure of the cell sap in the root hairs is usually higher than the osmotic pressure of the soil water. Hence, water from soil enters into root hairs through semi-permeable membrane by osmotic diffusion, as a result of which the root hair cell become turgid due to the entry of water inside the root hairs, and its osmotic pressure now falls down due to dilution. But their turgor pressure is increased. This turgor pressure is increased due to the entry of water into the root hairs. When we add some water in a solution, the solution get diluted. Its osmotic pressure lowers down and the turgor pressure has been increased. Similar things has been happen in this case. So as a result of entry of water into the root hair cells become turgid and its osmotic pressure now falls down due to dilution, but their turgor pressure is increased. Now when the water enters inside the root hairs, it has been transferred to the adjacent cell, that is the cortical cell. So if you see the TS of typical dicot root, it shows root hairs, epidermis, then the cortex, endodermis, pericycle, xylem, phloem. So the small pores that is seen, these are referred as the xylem, while the larger, these are the metaxylem, protoxylem and metaxylem. So the root hairs which are in a close contact with the soil water, the water from soil enters inside the root hair, and now the cortical cell adjacent to the root hairs have higher osmotic pressure in comparison to the root hairs. So due to which water is drawn into the adjacent cortical cells from the root hairs by the similar osmotic diffusion, like when the soil water enters inside the root hair by the phenomenon of osmosis. So similar phenomenon has been happen here. The osmotic pressure of the adjacent cortical cell is more than the root hair cell. So due to which water from root hair cell enters into the cortical cell. In the same way, water by cell to cell osmotic diffusion gradually reaches to the innermost cortical cells and finally to the endodermis. The osmotic diffusion of water into endodermis takes place by osmotic diffusion, which becomes turgid. So due to the entry of water into the endodermal cells, these endodermal cells become turgid. So water from endodermal cell by then enters into the pericycle cell through the special thin walled passage cell. These endodermal cells having thick wall due to the deposition of suberin and lignin. So due to the thick wall of the endodermis, the water is not able to reach into the pericycle. So at the same time, it shows the presence of thin walled passage cell in certain regions of the endodermal cell. So the water from endodermal cells then enter into the pericycle cell through the special thin walled passage cells. Then from pericycle cell, the water is drawn into the xylem vessels with which it is in close contact. So water from cortical cells is forced into the xylem vessels across the endodermis because of the root pressure developed in the cortical cell. This root pressure is sufficient to raise the water to a certain height of the plant. The value of the root pressure has been ranged between 1 to 3 atmosphere. Under certain circumstances, it has been raised up to the 6 atm. So this value of the root pressure is sufficient to raise the water up to the certain height of the plant. So thus the osmotic activities of the cells contributes to the absorption of water. Hence it is known as osmotic absorption of water. So osmosis plays an important role in the absorption of water. So this mechanism, this process, this theory is known as osmotic absorption of water. Now the objections to the osmotic theory of water absorption: the value of root pressure developed are very low. So the value, if you see, it range between 1 to 3 atmosphere. So this value is not sufficient to raise the water in case of tall plants. So the value of root pressure developed is very low. So this is the first objection to the osmotic theory of water absorption. Next is the root pressure developed is not universal in plant. Third one, absorption of water in plants generally against the concentration gradient. And last one, absorption of water takes place even in absence of root. If you propagate the plant by using the stem cuttings, these stem cuttings can able to absorb the water without the root. So absorption of water takes place even in absence of root. So due to which this theory is not accepted. Thank you.